Thank you so much for sparing the time in listening to us. This is Shivani, your host for today. I am the cloud leader for Microsoft at Ingram Micro Gulf. And I'm also accompanied by Zubin, who is the business group leader for Modern Work and Surface for the SEMA region, as you may call it now. Very pleased to have you, Zubin. Thank you so much for allowing us the time. I know it's a busy schedule at GITEX, but we are very happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, and thanks for the welcome. I really appreciate that. Shivani, it's great to be here with you and to be able to talk about all things about our partners, our customers.
Right.
Really looking forward to that.
Yes. Diving right into it. I mean, it's been packed already. It's the third day of GITEX, and we can see the energy, the engagements really want to understand from you, how are you seeing GITEX? How is it going for you in general?
Yeah, fantastic. And look, first of all, like normal GITEX, and if you don't know what GITEX is, it's the regional, for our partners and customers out there, it's the the regional event of the year for all things technology. And it feels like everybody's here from across the region as well.
That is true.
It's just overwhelming as you try to make your way to different places. There's so much to see and do here in terms of technology, how it's impacting our lives. So for me personally, it's been overwhelming and exciting at the same time. I believe for our attendees, it's just been a great place to meet, to talk, to discuss, to think, to grow as well too.
Correct. No, I second that, because in our day-to-day lives, of course, we are meeting everybody. But this is one platform where we all come together from a technology standpoint, talk about new trends, how we can engage together, our partnerships and so on. So definitely a great, valuable platform for us to sync on.
Agreed.
And looking at the trend, right? So we wanted to really take some time to understand Microsoft's point of view in terms of latest trend that we are seeing in the industry, technology industry particularly, towards AI, right? That's exactly why we are here, really to hear from Microsoft their thoughts around AI, how Microsoft envisions really the future of AI in particular, because it's really taking the market by a storm. Everybody is very curious to understand what this means for them, how this would resonate for them in their day-to-day lives, as a partner and as a customer, what it means for them really. So really looking forward to hearing Microsoft's point of view around this.
Fantastic. That's a lot of different points as well too. So let's see what we can address first of all. So even being at GITEX and being at this event, we can see that one of the key topics, as you noted, is AI.
Correct.
Artificial intelligence is around everywhere. And a lot of that has been spurred by developments that appear to have come out just this year. Generative AI comes up quite a bit. A lot of us have had fun with ChatGPT as well too, which is a big partner of ours as well too. But I would say that this has been years in the making, right? If not decades in the making. AI has had its ups and downs, meaning that it's been up at the sort of high in terms of the hype behind it. And then sometimes it feels like that nobody talks about AI at all. But this year particularly, it feels like something different has happened, doesn't it? It just feels.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
It feels like it's gotten a level of utility that is beyond what we've already benefited from in AI. Because again, AI has been helping us in various ways up until now. But now with this idea of generative AI, which is taking the data that we have, our data, whether it's in our organizations or on the internet, or even combining in some cases, and creating new. Creating new experiences, creating new ways of doing things. And for Microsoft, this means that we can continue to further with our partners what we've promised to our customers for many years, which is to empower them to achieve more. These are individuals, these are organizations, and that's what we're building on. So as you asked, like, what is Microsoft doing in this space? It's really taking that benefit of generative AI and putting it to practical purposes. And that's where we can dive in a bit more as well too. But does that answer the first part of your question?
No, absolutely. Hit it right on. That's what we wanted to understand. And also, Microsoft is of course a technology leader, right? So there's definitely, Microsoft is also building around that, which is Copilot. So we have recently been hearing a lot about Copilot in the market. And really want to understand what does it mean for an individual and organization, right? What are some of the standout features against the traditional AI as we've been used to all this while? So what does it really mean?
Absolutely. So first of all, it's a great question. Sometimes I wish, pulling the professor out of me, like I've had a whiteboard to show, but from a verbal standpoint, talking through this for our listeners as well too. The thing about Copilot is it's actually taking multiple different constructs or primitives or foundations and putting that together to create a wonderful experience. So I'll highlight each one of them sequentially as well too. So we've got the LLM. So that's a big part of generative AI. This is your ChatGPT. There's other models out there as well too. For Microsoft, we're leveraging ChatGPT, particularly in our Copilot versions, for the most part, using 4.0 or 3.5. These are the versions that come out with these LLMs. And these LLMs are very important because what they're doing is they're taking all of this sort of way of indexing or tagging or retrieving data, and it's been able to pull it out in a very fast and very efficient manner to be able to create new content, as we talked about before. So that's where the LLM fits. Then we have another component or primitive or foundation, which is the what we call the M365, or let me take another way of saying it, the Microsoft Graph. Okay, so this is our customers' data, their protected data, the data that they have different levels of access to, data security, and allows them to index that through semantic indexing and be able to put that data against the LLM. So the LLM can go and pull information out there. So sort of the context coming out of it from your own data. And that's where Copilot also sits. And then the other part of this is I was kind of alluding to the M365 experience.
Yes.
So some of you listeners may not know what that is, but M365 is the suite of services that many of us know, like Windows, Office, so that's the Word, the PowerPoint, and then of course the Teams part of it as well too, how we communicate.
Correct.
So all of those add into a way of achieving and pulling from the Microsoft Graph using the LLM to be able to pull data quickly. And that creates an experience that almost feels like magic.
Right.
So an example, if I was using Word right now and I'm writing a document on, let's just say, just an update on how we're doing with a certain market research on a product. We're taking our data that we have from that market research, and then we want to add a paragraph on there on what it means. I can ask Copilot to write a paragraph on an experience that might be interesting at that point. Like for instance, if I was writing about bicycles and I'm looking at bicycle data and I'm selling bicycles, I can go ahead and say, hey, bring me the latest information on a type of bicycle that's used on the road, and put that inside there so then I can reference that going forward. And it'll write it within fractions of seconds, put it inside there, and I can build on that. And the great thing is it's a co-pilot. It's not an autopilot. It's not writing the doc for you, but it's contributing to it. So then me as the pilot, I can go ahead and say, hey, I want to include that. I'd like to iterate on that, do it in a different type of voice, maybe do it in bullet form as well too. And again, it's pulling that data both from the Microsoft Graph, so the data I have in my company organization, and it also can leverage the internet too as well, maybe pull from a competitor's website, which is perfectly fine to say, get some more information, pop that in there, put it in the form of a table, and that's just one example of what we're doing with the Copilot experience.
No, that's so interesting to hear while you explain it, and I'm sure there's so much more that we can do with that. It makes you only more efficient. It's basically information as a service, right? You have everything available to you, factual data really, while you're at it, while you're working. So it really provides you that kind of information from the get-go, which is amazing because it only empowers you further. I
like that word, empower. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So how do you see Copilot really empowering organizations in particular?
Absolutely. So first of all, it starts at the employee level, right? So an employee themselves, if you think about different organizations or functions inside a company, think about your HR. Okay, think about what HR can do around this. So imagine you want to write a compelling job description because you want to hire people. You can leverage this tool to write that. Help me write it in a way that is very formal or exciting. Pull in some information on trends in the market on that. Pull in from my own environment in terms of maybe I'm writing something but I don't know a lot about the function I'm writing for. Maybe it's a business group. So make sure that you make the right qualifications in there, and then I can adjust it as well too. So that's just an example of how an HR professional can improve the way they work. Take finance now. So Copilot goes across that suite of services or solutions. So think of it, Excel.
Absolutely.
Pivot tables and some of these other things that some of your listeners might be aware of. You don't have to write a pivot table, or you can write a formula very quickly by speaking in your natural language. A big part of LLMs is you can speak in your natural language. So I get a spreadsheet from maybe somebody on a team saying, this is the sales data that happened over the past month with the inventory data attached. I can work and say, take these tables and help me glean insights from that. Help me maybe create something that I can use in a presentation that can highlight the trends as well too. So we're not spending time just looking at the data, but also the outcomes of that as well too. I'll give you another one. Maybe I'm an executive and I need to do a presentation to the board. And somebody might work on a PowerPoint presentation for me. But what if that executive can just say, hey, take this multiple data points and help me create a PowerPoint in 5 slides that can help explain specifically what we need to do next. Again, I'm going to review it. I'm going to say these are the key points, but it can put it together, put it in a compelling format, limit it. It might be 5 pages and you say that's too much. Reduce it to 3 pages and put the main points as well too.
Correct.
So these are all examples of how it's empowering people. What it does then is it takes away the drudgery of work, and it delivers on one of the joint promises we have as partners, which is not only do we help our employees and our customers with productivity through these suites, but now we can actually get them more engaged and help with the creativity, which ultimately leads to high-performing organization. And ultimately, that's where we're trying to get to.
No, that's amazing, because it gives you that personalized experience, right? Exactly what you're looking for, and you have that at hand. So yeah, that definitely helps individual and organizations really perform better, do better. And that leads me to another question. Partners, as we know, for Microsoft play a very crucial role in terms of really taking the technologies to the market. Where do you see us in terms of this journey as a value-added partner? What are your expectations, out of value-added partners, really?
Absolutely. And look, we go nowhere without our partners. So it's so important that we work with our partners. And right now, as I talk to partners, I'm so excited because they're excited about this new opportunity. First of all, we collectively believe that we're going to create value. I like how you use value-added partners. We're going to create outsized value for our end customers. So they're going to realize incredible amount of value. So what does that mean then? And how do we help them realize that quickly and sustainably?
True.
And this is where our partners come in. First of all, while I've been very excited about Copilot, it does take adjustment. So think about where our partners can fit in terms of change management. Okay, coming in there and helping our customers move forward with a way of getting this out to their users in a way that they can be productive. Because it's change, right? They're used to working in one way. Here's a way to work in another way too. So that's one area. Another key area is security. So while this is a great product and it's very secure, it actually allows you to find data within an organization much faster. So we need partners that are comfortable helping our customers to bring solutions that also have the right level of data access and data security within the organization. The data was already there before, so anybody could have found it, but now it's a lot easier to find it. So we need folks that can help, for instance, make sure that the right level of security is on the right level of data. So one person from one group shouldn't accidentally find data that maybe that wasn't security locked down. So this is another key area that we're working with our partners so that they can help make sure that not just policy in place, but the actual technologies in place to make sure that we're locking down the data as well too. And then when you go from there, I want to stress that it goes beyond that. We're learning together. So now imagine what happens when a company has people in their company that are now 10%, 20%, we're even seeing 50% more productive. Where can they go from there so that they can achieve more? Where can they create new solutions, new products, new services as well too for their end customers? This is where we need partners that think big with us so that they can further as well.
No, that's amazing to hear, yes. And that's the goal for us as value-added partners as well with Microsoft. Keeping that commitment that we really, have our partners and customers really adopt the technology and see how that can really make a difference in their day-to-day work life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that leads me to another, because Copilot has been in the industry for a few months, yes. So of course we don't yet have this in the region, it's to come. Any best practices or any examples of businesses you would like to share with us around Copilot, customers who might already be starting to leverage this? How are they experiencing this? What are their thoughts around this?
Absolutely. So first of all, Copilot as an umbrella has been around in different formats. So we have GitHub Copilot, which is helping our coders to really be more productive, remove the drudgery, and create new solutions very quickly. So excited about that. And then we have Copilot versions for Dynamics, which are very exciting as well too. We're rolling it out for sales as well. And the one that I've spent a lot of time, and part of it's the hat I wear, is on the M365 Copilot, again, using those solutions. And that is going to be general availability November 1st. And that's going to be available to move forward with. We have a certain amount of size that's required to deploy it, at least in the beginning as well, so 300 seats. So these are organizations that are willing to go 300. I believe every organization should leverage this and go beyond the 300 seats.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's going to be a lot of opportunity there. Now, in terms of what our customers are saying from our early access preview, which is really exciting, where we had customers that are already using this for several months right now, the feedback has been overwhelming. So, for instance, I won't get into logos yet because we can't actually mention them, but I'm excited that by November 1st we'll have some that we can highlight. But we're seeing organizations already seeing cost savings of 45 minutes to 2 hours a day by some of their employees using this. This is just removing, again, some of the drudgery to be able to create a report quickly or analyze a spreadsheet quickly or be able to create a PowerPoint very quickly or go through their email. But probably the most important, the one I didn't talk about, is on Teams. So we're seeing now that customers, individuals, and organization employees, they can go in there, they can miss part of a meeting, they can come in a bit late, they can miss the entire meeting, and they can know what is the next step that they require. So we have folks who are saying, okay, I'm doing a recap of the meeting. I see where I can ask Copilot, what were my takeaways? What was the general theme of the meeting? What are the next steps? And this has saved them so much time in terms of being able to choose between which meetings they're in and which ones they're not. And also the people scheduling the meetings are able to see when people can come and when they're not able to be there, and when they are able to be there, so that they can adjust accordingly as well too. So these are some of the big use cases we're seeing already, but I'm expecting a lot more as we go forward.
Oh, that's amazing. It's quite insightful for me myself. Learning so much about Copilot, what's to come, what's already there in place, and how we can leverage this in our day-to-day lives. Any final thoughts you would have for our listeners around Microsoft in general, maybe some of the key announcements we are making at GITEX or maybe otherwise?
Absolutely. So first of all, GITEX, what I love about how we're doing it this year, and actually how we do it many years, is our customers and our partners are doing the speaking. So please stay tuned. Our partners and customers are making announcements on how they're leveraging everything from Azure OpenAI to how they're positioning Copilot in their environments, all the different flavors as well too. So a lot of great stories coming from that. From a Microsoft perspective, to your point, it really is about AI and how that's helping our customers achieve more, and that's where we've been spending a lot of time in our discussions as well too. In addition to that, we're also really telling the story about the region. So I'm very proud to be part of this region. It starts with the UAE, where we're here for GITEX. Think about how much we're forward-leaning and leading from this region right here. This is so big right now in terms of the use cases that are coming out. So stay tuned for that. In terms of what, just overall sort of feedback to everybody listening, I would just highlight to be curious and to start now. There are so many resources available, whether it happens to be on LLMs, but specifically from Microsoft. And we talked a little bit about this. We can make sure that we have a URL or something to follow up on afterwards. But we have landing pages, particularly for M365 Copilot, where people can start now. And maybe even more important, for our partners, we have a landing page on M365 Copilot. So what they can do there is, first of all, learn about it. These are sort of level 100, learning about what generative AI is, what LLMs are, and how Microsoft's inputting that, and what it means for them as a partner. And then step 2 would be to create their own centers of excellence, if you will, and their own proposals that they can bring to customers as well too, on how to seize this opportunity. And many of them will be working with Ingram and of course Microsoft to further this, but we want to make sure that they can get started, learn a bit more, get to a certain level of proficiency, and then of course we can double down on that and really push it forward as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Zubin. And of course to our listeners, as Zubin rightly pointed out, next step is for you to really get as much information as you can around Copilot, what it brings to you. So tune into Microsoft's website. Also, you can reach out to us at cloud_golf@ingrammicro.com. We'll be sure to help you with the demo if you would like, and take it from there. For now, thank you so much for listening in. Hope you have a great day ahead.